Welcome to rSlash Parents, where parents try to steal money from an unborn baby. This story is from a few years ago when I worked in the legal department of a 1,000 plus store national retailer. As part of my job, I handled customer complaints that elevated when the customer threatened legal action. Our customer service call center forwarded Entitled Mother's call to me after she threatened legal action. Entitled Mother left a message claiming she was not provided $10 in customer reward coupons. Spend $200, receive a $10 coupon in the mail sort of thing. This was before apps. Based on her purchase of clothing for her son and daughter for back to school. I looked into it and called Entitled Mother back. It turned out we had an old address associated with her rewards account. No big deal, right? I spoke with Entitled Mother and offered to send her the original $10 coupon and an additional $25 for her trouble to the correct address. That did not satisfy Entitled Mother. She claimed we should have known her address and threatened to sue us if we didn't pay her $1,000 in cash. Her rationale was that it would cost us at least $1,000 to defend the suit. She was in a state in which our company didn't have any offices, so we should just pay it to her. I declined, but still forwarded her the $10 coupon she was entitled to pursuant to our rewards program. Sure enough, she sued us for breach of contract, fraud, and any other conceivable charge. I went to my boss, the COO, and told him the story. He asked what I wanted to do. I said I'd rather pay legal fees to a defense attorney than pay Entitled Mother, and he agreed. I contacted our awesome attorney, explained the situation to him, and I kid you not, he said in a southern drawl, "I get to sue Entitled Mother? I should be paying you guys." There are a lot of lawyers in this legal community who would love to sue her as she is reckless, unpleasant, and a total pain in the butt to deal with. I'll gladly take your case. He agreed to defend us at a reduced rate. Part of our defense strategy was to countersue her under the state's frivolous lawsuit statute, which would move the suit from small claims court to the larger civil court. Awesome Attorney filed our answer and counterclaim. Although Entitled Mother was an attorney, she was not a defense attorney. So she had to engage her own attorney to defend against the counterclaim. After a couple of hearings, she offered to settle for no more money exchanged. She didn't get the extra $25 coupon I offered her, and the dismissal of both suits. I talked with Awesome Attorney about continuing our claim, but he advised it would probably be worth settling and being done with it rather than being vindictive. Although vindictive would have been fun, courts tend not to like that, so I agreed. My company ended up paying Awesome Attorney $900 in attorney's fees. Awesome Attorney later called us and told us that the attorney Entitled Mother engaged charged her $1,700 to defend the suit. Although I would have liked to continue with our suit, I think her having to pay $1,700 over a $10 coupon sent to the wrong address is sufficient justice. Based on this story, I'm starting to see why the attorney was so excited to sue this woman. In this next story, there's a bunch of different people, so it's a little difficult to keep track of who's who. But nonetheless, I had to include this story because these people are nuts. The characters are me, Chris, my husband, Lisa, Chris's mom, my mother-in-law, Rory, Chris's dad, my father-in-law, Kelly, my mom and the entitled mother, Tom, my brother and the entitled son, and Sean, my nephew. So for clarification, Kelly is my and Tom's mom, Sean's grandmother. Tom and his wife, who isn't relevant to this story, are Sean's parents. This is intergenerational entitlement. So 2 years ago, I got pregnant for the first time. My husband Chris and I told our families, and Rory, his father, was overjoyed at the idea of a grandchild. And at his mom's Lisa's suggestion, gave me and Chris a check for £1,000. He said this was to pay for a nursery and the rest should be kept safe until the baby was 18. Shortly after this, when I was at about 12 weeks, I had a miscarriage. We tried to give my father-in-law, Rory, his money back, but he asked if we were going to try again. We said someday, but not anytime soon. Rory said to put the money in a savings account and add to it, so when we do have a baby, we have the money for it. Chris and I agreed, and after that, we made the account, deposited the check, and tried to put in about £10 per week. As it's been 2 years of regular topping up, the account currently has around £2,500 in it. We missed a week here and there, but we've never taken money out of it. Chris and I have both been to therapy and agreed to try again. I am currently 4 months pregnant. We waited this time until we were out of the danger zone, a period where miscarriage rates are higher, before we invited our families to our place and told them over lunch. Everyone seemed really happy for us, except my brother, Tom. I pulled Tom to one side and asked why the long face, and he told me that he knew about the baby fund and had been intending to ask me for it. In the conversation after that, Tom, my brother, said Sean, his son, is going to university in a couple of years. He's 16 now. And Tom doesn't feel that maintenance grants, up to 7,500 pounds a year, will be enough for Sean to live comfortably. I said that Sean could get a job, and Tom said that he doesn't want Sean working through A-levels in case it affects his grades. Tom also said that he and his wife, who are both mid-30s, had Sean at the time when they both would have gone to university, so they couldn't go. And because of this, it's important to them that Sean goes. He figured that since me and Chris are both on 10 pounds an hour, and Tom and his wife are on 9 pounds an hour, this means that we automatically have money to burn. I replied that the baby fund was, shockingly enough, for my baby. Tom then said, I figured since you know, the last time, then this one isn't a done deal yet. I told him no. Tom then immediately told our mom, Kelly, how I was refusing to give him the baby fund. And now Tom and my mom, Kelly, are mad at me because Sean needs the money and we're family. My nephew Sean didn't even know that Tom was asking me for the money or that the money existed. To this day, the only people to ever contribute to the baby fund are my father-in-law Rory with his starter money, and me and Chris with our 10 pounds a week in bonuses. We don't even consider that money to be ours anymore. And even when Chris and I were in dire straits and really could have done with some of the money in the fund, we still didn't touch it. Because as far as we're concerned, that's our baby's money. It turns out Lisa, my husband's mom, told Kelly about the existence of the baby fund years ago, as Kelly makes quite a bit of money, so Lisa thought Kelly might want to contribute to the fund. Tom complained to Kelly about not having enough money, so Kelly told Tom about the baby fund and said, "What's the harm in asking?" Tom and his wife had had 16 years to save up. Me and Chris have never taken a holiday, and they go on 2 per year. And when they realized they had no savings left, they decided to try and take the money that the entire family knows is for mine and Chris's baby, while telling me that there's still a chance I'll miscarry since I've already miscarried once. Also, they have a daughter who's about 10, so if I give my current baby fund to Sean, then start rebuilding, there's no way that 8 years from now, they won't ask for my new fund for the daughter. Neither kid is entitled, and they could both really do with an out to get away from their crazy entitled parents. But if it weren't for them, then we wouldn't even be on speaking terms with Tom right now. Just for a moment, try to imagine being stuck so far up your own butt that you genuinely wish an unborn baby dies so that you can get that dead baby's money. Our next Reddit post is from HFLASCJFMSCUSFKD. So, myself and my girlfriend were coming back from Paris after my brother's wedding. We took the Eurostar both ways, but on the way there we went standard class. My girlfriend and I were paying for the return and thought that we'd go for it by upgrading to standard Premier, which was slightly more expensive than normal standard, but we don't go to Paris very often. There was a third option, business Premier, but we're not made of money. The main differences between standard and standard Premier are that with standard, it's pretty cramped, and with standard Premier, you get extra legroom. And with regular standard, you have to go and buy food on board, but with standard Premier, you get food and drinks at your seat. The different options are divided into different carriages. Standard is carriages 1 through 5, Premier is 7 through 12, and 14 to 18 are also standard. My girlfriend and I get to the train. Our seats are in the carriage towards the middle, and we're in one of the rows nearest the door. We get settled in our seats, ready to leave, when entitled mother approaches. This is all paraphrasing. The entitled mother seemed nice at first, but it didn't last. "Excuse me?" "Yes?" "I'm terribly sorry to ask you this. I hope you don't mind." My girlfriend says, "Yes?" "My daughter and I are traveling, and we got put a bit far back. She has a bad leg. We need to be a bit closer to the doors, and we can't be getting up to get food and drink." Oh, poor her. I broke my leg a couple years back and that was awful. Had to have crutches and everything. How old is she? She's 8. She's really in a bad way, but she's such a trooper. It would just be so much easier if we were a bit further forward. Where are you sitting? Just a little further back. She gestures vaguely behind us, and I get suspicious at this point. Yeah, but where specifically? What carriage number? I think it was 3. Now, we were in coach 10. This is a significant distance. Additionally, coach 3 is standard seating only. Isn't 3 standard class? Well, yes, but my daughter needs these seats. My girlfriend, catching on to Entitled Mother's plan. Look, we're not unsympathetic, but we sort of paid extra for these seats. Also, where is your kid? I'm going to go back for her once I've sorted the seats. So can I tell her it's sorted? We haven't agreed to anything. Isn't coach 3 closer to the front than 10? If it's about proximity, wouldn't you be better off in coach 2? No, she needs the legroom too. And she can't keep getting up to help. You look like you can afford it. Not really. We're only splashing out this once as it was my brother's wedding. The entitled mother huffs. Look, are you going to give me the seats or not? My girlfriend, in this oversweet voice she does that usually indicates she's on her last nerve with someone. It sounds like you're actually further up than we are. If legroom is an issue, then I'm sure we can speak to someone. I'm pretty sure your coach has priority boarding. I'll help you find someone, sort something out. It's really no trouble. Girlfriend gets up and leads entitled mother back to her coach, with entitled mother grumbling the whole time. Girlfriend comes back about 5 minutes later and tells me that the daughter, who was not at all entitled, is also totally fine, and in no way has a bad leg. Apparently, the daughter straight up ran up to entitled mother and my girlfriend when they came to the carriage. And girlfriend said that the kid was way too young to be left on her own, and they were actually pretty close to the front of the train. But nothing else happened after that. No stopping, no calling police, assault of any kind. Entitled mother just went back to her seat, but girlfriend and I thought we saw her walk through the carriage before ours a little while later and speak to someone in there. So maybe she was trying again with someone else? No, I don't think you understand. You see, the issue is I want your seats, but I don't want to pay for them. Our next Reddit post is from JustMonika. This story starts yesterday afternoon with me and my boyfriend going to a Japanese cultural festival. The festival gets held every year at some kind of large temple/cultural center. But this is my first time going. I've wanted to go for the past few years, but for one reason or another, something else always came up that prevented me from going. So, needless to say, I'm pretty excited to go now that the stars have perfectly aligned for me to go. There's all sorts of events and activities going on both in and outside of the buildings when we arrive. Music, food, educational speakers, presentations, etc. And me and my boyfriend spend the day having a great time. Eventually, we end up at a booth that allows people to pay to take pictures in traditional Japanese attire. We both dress up in yukata, and at the end, the person running the booth tells us that if we would like to purchase our own kimonos or yukata, that they have a vendor that's selling them. I think it's pretty cool, so we go to check it out, and I end up purchasing one for me and my boyfriend. Both of us putting them on right away. End up hitting to go get some food when someone calls out to us with an "Excuse me." Turn around and see 2 women with a kid. One of them is a white woman, entitled Mother 1, and the other appears to be Asian, entitled Mother 2. Both of them have obnoxiously brightly colored hair and are wearing F-hate shirts. Hi there, can I just ask if either of you are of Japanese descent? I'm not sure about him, I say jokingly. My boyfriend says, no, I'm not. Well then, why do you feel like you have the right to wear that? I don't understand. It's called cultural appropriation, and it's wrong. So you need to take those off and never wear them again. Excuse me? The other entitled mother says, it's just that if you aren't Japanese, you shouldn't be wearing those outfits. Japanese culture isn't your fashion statement. This keeps going for about 2 minutes. The two seem to have a routine where entitled Mother 1 is the aggressor, constantly throwing out accusations and labels, while entitled Mother 2 is just trying to guilt trip us. Entitled Mother 1 is getting angrier by the second. We try walking away at one point, but entitled Mother 1 blocks our path. Don't walk away from me! The kid starts crying, probably because his mom just yanked the heck out of his arm and is screaming at strangers on a hot day. "Now you're upsetting our son!" My boyfriend says, "Please leave us alone. We bought these at the festival and you're being ridiculous." Staff members come over since this is starting to cause a scene. Entitled Mother 2 starts speaking to one of them, presumably in Japanese, while the other is stuck with Entitled Mother 1 berating them, telling them they should be ashamed of themselves, how they shouldn't allow things like this, etc. Meanwhile, Entitled Mother 2 says she's calling the police to shut down the festival. At this point, we try to get out of there. Entitled Mother 1 spots us trying to leave and tries to grab my boyfriend, who just knocks her hand away. Entitled Mother 1 suddenly pulls out pepper spray and sprays it at my boyfriend, getting him right in the eyes. Shockingly, they don't stick around for when the police show up. They take our statement of what happened, but unfortunately, this place doesn't have any security footage and nobody was recording the incident. We made it very clear that when they're found that we wanted to press charges, but so far we haven't heard anything. After that, we went over to the hospital to make sure that my boyfriend won't have any lasting eye damage. I'll keep this updated if anything changes. Does anyone else think that the entitled mother was actually being kinda racist by asking if they were of Japanese descent? Like, only people of Japanese descent can be Japanese? What about white people or black people or brown people who are born in Japan and are raised there? Shouldn't they be allowed to wear Japanese clothes too because, you know, it's part of their culture? That was r/Entitled Parents, and this is r/Puppy Bloopers. She's really in a bad way, but she's really in a bad way, but she's such a trooper. It would just be dog, please. It would just be so much easier. It would just be so much easier. Dog, I gotta work. It would just be. Can I help you? What do you want? Is it play o'clock? No, it's work o'clock. Work o'clock, dog. Work time. Not playtime. Work time. Are you not listening to me? I said work time. You can go play upstairs. Go play upstairs. I can't. I've got to work. What do you want me to do? You want me to chase you around and play tug of war? I can't, dog. I wish I could, but I got to work. Ow, my ear! You're gonna break my microphone with your squeaky voice. Dog, please. I can't. I gotta work. Oh, dog. She gestures vaguely behind us, and she gestures vaguely. Why do I bother? Dog, you're holding me hostage. This is so not fair. I don't interrupt your playing. Dog, no. She gestures vaguely behind us, and I get suspicious at this point.